Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about this little palette. It is the brand new Maybelline Lemonade Craze palette. This palette has been highly talked about and I've seen it all over Instagram, and I saw somebody post swatches of this palette, and when I first saw the swatches I was like, ooh, I want to try that. I was really intrigued by the swatches, only because, and I'm just gonna say this because I'm gonna be super honest, when it comes to drugstore eyeshadow palettes, they're just not my favorite, because every time I see pictures of them I get really discouraged by them because the swatches are they're just not that great. They're chalky and they're just not pigmented, so I never usually pick up eyeshadow palettes because most of the time they are pretty much a disappointment in my opinion. So when I saw the swatches of this palette on Instagram, I was very interested. I thought the swatches were so pretty and I wanted to purchase it for myself to review it for you guys, and I did pre-order this on Amazon last month.
I believe at the end of March this was available for pre-order.
Now it is available to purchase on Amazon and also Ulta Beauty, which I didn't know it was going to come to Ulta Beauty, but I wanted to pre-order it so I can get it earlier so that way I can review it for you guys and give you my thoughts, opinion, and a makeup look with this palette. The seal is still intact. That's another reason why it's so hard to purchase an eyeshadow palette from the drugstore, because every time I go into the makeup section, the eyeshadow palette or the product itself has usually been tampered with. I like to purchase my makeup online because I know that it's usually sealed up pretty good. I have not opened it yet. I'm excited. I wanted to wait until I was on here on camera with you guys so that I can open it up for the very first time and swatch it and do a little makeup look. So if you would like to know more about this palette, then please keep on watching. So the palette looks so pretty. I feel like it just screams spring and summer because it's so bright. These colors right here I was mostly drawn to, so I can't wait to try those. I'm gonna go ahead and start opening this palette because it's sealed pretty shut. Alright, I finally opened it up and this is what the palette looks like. It's actually pretty nice and sturdy.
The casing itself, I mean, it's a plaque. What?
It is a hard plastic kind of casing, but it's very sturdy. I feel like it's a nice case to go travel with. But these are the colors. They're so pretty, and I mean, I pretty much see every single shade that you need to transition into the crease, to set down an eye primer, and to darken up the crease. Especially, the only eyeshadow that I don't see is some kind of a black, but in my personal opinion, I don't really use black to darken up the crease or to smoke out anything. I like to go for dark brown colors like this. So this color right here is perfect for darkening the outer corner. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some quick swatches on my arm, and then we're going to move on to the makeup look. This palette has 7 matte shadows, is what I see when I'm looking at it as I'm counting them. And I'm swatching one now, and wow. Okay, so I've swatched Sherbet. This is Sherbet, and Sherbet is the perfect, in my opinion, nice beigey matte set down color when you have to set down a primer. A nice, beautiful, soft matte beigey color. I really like that. Berry Ice is the next matte, and this is more of a pinky transition shade, which if you know me, you know I love my pinky transition shade colors. And Sunny's is a much brighter transition set down beigey shade. Lemonade Craze, which is of course the pop out of this eyeshadow palette. It's the only yellow shade in this palette, and this one is a matte, but in the pan it looks like it has some kind of specks of glimmer in it. It's a light color yellow matte. And we have Ice Pop, which is definitely one of the shades that really brought my attention. It's a beautiful magenta kind of shade. It almost looks red in the pan, but it looks more of a hot pink. This one's really pretty. Old Fashioned is the next matte, and Old Fashioned is, like I said, that kind of color that you want to deepen up the outer corner. It's a little bit darker, but this is the darkest shade in the pan, which is not super dark, but to me, I don't mind it because I like to darken up the inner corner, or not the inner corner, the outer corner with dark shades like this that are not super dark. And then the last matte shade you have is Sweet Tea. That's such a cute name. Sweet Tea is the perfect warm transition kind of shade. It's a little bit cooler. I don't think it's that warm, at least to my eye. Alright, so next up are the shimmer shades, and we have 1, 2, 3, We have about 3 shimmer shades and 1 sheen kind of shade. So the first one is Citrus. This is a really beautiful color. That is so pretty. I love that. That's like kind of like gold, but it looks like it has a different color in it. Then we have Main Squeeze, and I'm just doing these in no particular order because that's just what I do. Main Squeeze, that's cute. I actually called my boyfriend Squeeze. Like, we always call each other Squeeze, or we say Squeeze. We don't really call each other Squeeze, we just say Squeeze. It's a beautiful color. Now this one is mostly glimmer, so I think this eyeshadow is more of like an eyeshadow topper. I think it's beautiful to top on top of another eyeshadow that has more of a base kind of pigment. As you can see, it's lighter, but it has a little bit of a base, but not insanely pigmented like this one. This just has more of a flecks of glitter kind of eyeshadow topper instead. So the next shimmery shade is called Sugar Coated, which is such a beautiful shade. This one definitely brought attention to my eye, and this is insane. Sugar Coated, ugh, this is my first time swatching Sugar Coated. Don't mind this one. This one's still Ice Pop, which is insanely pigmented, that it stained my fingers. Sugar Coated is, wow, that is beautiful. I actually did not expect it to be this pigmented, but this reminds me of a foiled eyeshadow. I'm just gonna say that this eyeshadow reminds me a lot of Flamethrower by Makeup Geek. As a matter of fact, let me grab it. Ooh, I found it. Okay, so this is Flamethrower by Makeup Geek, and this is the eyeshadow Sugar Coated in the Maybelline palette. They actually look pretty similar. Let me swatch them side by side. Wow. Okay, so they look pretty similar. Let me bring you guys a little bit closer so you can see the swatch comparison between the two. Okay, so right down here, this is Flamethrower by Makeup Geek, and then this is Sugar Coated from the Maybelline Lemonade Craze palette. I can't say that super fast, otherwise I'm just gonna get tongue twisted. So Sugar Coated by Lemonade Craze palette by Maybelline and Flamethrower. You can see that it's pretty close in the shade, except this one is a little bit darker than this one. As soon as I swatched it, I immediately thought of Flamethrower. So that's just a random fact to know. And the last shade in the palette is called Coral Punch. Ooh, this one's really, really, really soft. When you swatch these on your hand, or on your fingers, use your fingers to swatch them, they're very soft. Coral Punch, it looks like a sheen in the palette, but now that I'm looking at it, you can use it as a matte. I mean, you can use any of these mattes as an all over eyelid color. You can tell by the swatch, it just looks like sheeny. Sheeny, matte and sheen. I would definitely use this color as a crease color because I love using peaches and pinks in my crease. You know, when you want something different, you don't always want to use brown. I think it's great. It's just a beautiful color. Such a beautiful color. I'm just losing my words today. Don't mind me.
And there you have it. Those are all the swatches. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my voice.
Those are all the shades from the palette swatched on my arm/hand. I hope you guys enjoyed those swatches. Now I want to move on to using this on my eyes, so I'm excited. I really want to see what kind of makeup look I can come up with. In order not to make this video super long, I did apply the rest of my face makeup. I'm just going to bring you guys in a little bit closer so we can start on the eyes and see what look we come up with. And I do have Painterly Paint Pot on, so I do want to take sherbet? Let's say sherbet. At least that's how I know how to pronounce it. I'm gonna take that and apply it all over my crease to set down the paint pot. Alright, so I always test this when I test eyeshadows, but there is some kick up when you press the eyeshadow brush into the pan. There is some kick up, but it's not a lot of kick up, as long as they blend nicely and look nice on the eyes. I like to apply this eyeshadow to set down my paint pot in place, but I don't usually use this all over the lid, but I like to just keep this in the crease and in the brow bone area just to set that area so nothing else skips over it. Alright, primer is set. Now I'm going to move on to my transition color. There's some fallout still. I'm going to take Berry Ice first to start and apply that all over my crease. Now this shade is very, very light, like a beigey pink kind of shade, so it's not too pigmented, but these eyeshadows so far are blending really nicely in the crease. And you can see a little bit of pink. It's not too intense. Okay, next I'm taking Coral Punch, which is this one right here, and I'm going to coralize my crease. You like how I did that? Coralize my crease. No? Oh wow. So coralize, when I push my brush into it, It's super falling out. This can be a pretty messy palette because there's a lot of fallout, or kick up. That's what I mean. There's a lot of kick up in the eyeshadows. So this one has a very light coral sheen to it. It's not super sheen, but it's a nice transition color in my opinion because I just love pinkies and corals in the crease. It looks really nice and natural. Alright, next I'm going to take Ice Pop, which is that hot pink color, and I'm just going to kind of deepen up the crease, but I want to play with the colors, especially the bright ones in my crease. Okay, so this one's not as hot pink as it comes out in the pan because I like to go lightly with these shades because you just don't know how much pigment this is going to give you. That's a really pretty shade. Blended into the peach, into Coral Punch. I noticed that after blending the eyeshadows in my crease, I get a little bit of fallout, but that's why it's important to tap off your brush so that you don't have any excess eyeshadow. I like to do my makeup first and then go in with my eyeshadows. So Ice Pop is blended into my crease. Now I want to move on to the eyelid. I really want to use Sugar Coated on my lid, which is this one right here. This eyeshadow is just speaking to me. Like, I literally want this all over my lid right now. The way I see it, as pigmented as it is in the pan, I'm just hoping and praying this eyeshadow is just as pigmented on the lid. So let's go in with a flat shader dry brush and see how that goes. Oh my gosh. So the brush picks up a lot of pigment on it. And of course there's some kick up when you do that, so you just have to be careful. Oh my goodness. Do you see that? It is really pigmented. Now, as soon as I apply this to my eyelid with my brush, I get a lot of fallout. It kicks up a lot when I try to use the brush, so I'm going to try to apply it with my fingers after I try applying with the brush. Can you imagine if you apply Fix Plus or any kind of setting spray to the brush and then go in with the eyeshadow? It's going to be insane. Just insane. Alright, so if you are like me, you'll use your finger for eyeshadows like these that are more pigmented. They tend to don't fall out as much. I don't know if even know if I make sense with that. But I'm just going to go in with my finger just to finish it off because I don't want any more fallout on my face that I have to worry about going in with a brush and sweeping it away. I'll just take my finger and just apply it that way. And it applies beautifully with my finger, and I absolutely love the pigment. It is beautiful. Okay, so I might have spoken a little too soon because I'm trying to apply this eyeshadow with my finger on my left eye, and for some reason the eyeshadow will stick to my finger and then it just doesn't like to transfer. It's not transferring to my eyelid, which I don't understand. Like, it is, but it's transferring it very, very lightly and very minimally. So I'm gonna try with my brush again. With the brush, it seems to pick up. Yeah, you see the brush has no problem picking it up, and it might be because my finger is just a little too moist, because I'm gonna be honest, my hands like to sweat. I sweat randomly, and I tried to pick it up with my finger, and the pigment of the eyeshadow just would not leave my finger to go to my eyelid. So just keep that in mind. If that happens, it might be either because your finger is just too moist, but the brush does pick up more pigment and applies it better on the eyelids if your finger is too moist, like mine, to pick up the pigment. Alright, eyelid is done, and I'm curious of what I want to put on the inner corner because I did leave a little bit of space in the inner corner of my eyelids. I really want to try the Lemonade Craze shade right here. This Lemonade Craze shade, just for that pop of inner corner. So I'm going to take a smaller brush and just apply that to the inner corners of my eyelids and see how that looks. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm applying it to the inner corner, and to be honest, it's not my favorite because it's a matte shade for starters, and it's just not as pigmented. It's a very, very pale yellow when you apply it. In the pan, it looks a lot more brighter, but then when you apply it to the inner corner, it's just not that bright. I don't know. Put it in the inner corner. I'll just leave that right there in the inner corner of my eyes. For the inner corner of my eyes, I'm not a fan because in the pan, it's darker than what it is on the eyes. Okay, so I'm going to go in with Strawberry Lemonade for my inner corner, which is this one. It's a beautiful pink shimmer. You know, I didn't even swatch this one. Did I? No, I didn't. I actually didn't swatch this. I almost forgot. Here are all the shimmer shades, and then you have, where is it? Strawberry. I'm going to put Strawberry Lemonade right here on the top. There we go. Wow, how could I have forgotten to swatch that? This is Strawberry Lemonade. And then these are all the other shimmer sheen shades that I swatched. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe I forgot to swatch Strawberry Lemonade. That's like the most beautiful shade in the palette. I definitely want that on my inner corners. And this is pretty. It's very subtle, but it's very nice to have it in the inner corner. That is really pretty. I changed my mind. I don't like the inner corner lemonade. The Lemonade Craze palette isn't doing me any favors in the inner corner, so I'm just going to buff that away. Yeah, it buffs away pretty easily, and I guess that's just how these eyeshadows are. I'm going to try for the inner corner. I'm going to put Main Squeeze and Sunnies in the inner corner of my eyes. Main Squeeze is a nice eyeshadow topper because it has just a little bit of flecks of glitter to kind of glitterize the inner corner. Now I'm going to hit the lower lash line with Ice Pop, Coral Punch, and a little bit of Lemonade Craze just to blend it all out, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I did apply a little bit of Lemonade Craze underneath to blend the Ice Pop and the Coral Punch on the lower lash line, and it does look nice, just a hint of yellow just to blend out. I'm just going to apply Sunnies, which Sunnies I'm super impressed with. It's a nice brightening brown bone color. Okay, so that is it for the eyeshadows. I'm going to finish off by applying eyeliner and mascara, and I'll be right back. And we're back. I decided not to do falsies today because, you know, some makeup looks I like to do eyelashes and some I just like to go natural. What do I think about the Lemonade Craze palette by Maybelline? If you have been following me for a while, you do know that I don't have many drugstore palettes. I'm not impressed by drugstore palettes at all. I just haven't seen the quality in the eyeshadows when I see drugstore palettes in the stores, and I just don't ever pick them up. But I might have to make an exception for this palette because I am impressed by this palette. Yes, every single shadow has kick up, but every single shadow blends so nicely in the crease. You guys saw the way I was doing my makeup look. Every single shade was literally blending so nicely, so smoothly in the crease. And although some shades in the palette aren't as pigmented, they're a little bit lighter than what the actual shadow is in the pan, they actually look nice once you build them up. Now, when you first go in with the eyeshadow, you might have to build them up a little bit because they're just not as dark as they are in the pan, and that's okay if you want to work out it just a little bit more, just to add a little bit more pigment. I am super impressed by Strawberry Lemonade and Sugar Coated, and I'm also impressed by Coral Punch, Ice Pop, and Main Squeeze is a nice topper, but not my ideal all over kind of color. So if you don't know already, these little shades right here, this little quadrant, which I didn't even use Old Fashioned because I wanted to be a nice peachy daytime kind of look. If you want to smoke it out, I'm sure you can just darken it up by applying this in the outer corner. I just wanted to focus more on these three shades that were right here because, as you can tell, they're my kind of shades. I really like this palette. I didn't think that I was going to like it. You guys can get this palette at Ulta Beauty for $13.99, and you can purchase this on the Amazon.com website for $10.99, which you actually save like $3. That's great. Do you need this palette in your life? I will let you guys be the judge of that. I recommend it because I think it's a really nice eyeshadow palette. I'm impressed by how pigmented the eyeshadows are and how nicely and smoothly they blend into the eyes. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed my review, my thoughts, and my makeup look with this palette, the Lemonade Craze by Maybelline. Please let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to me if you will. It would mean so much to me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.